It's not happy.
Hey, we're Ben and Ashely, and we've been living on the road on and off for the last 6 months in our trusty Subaru. But in January we bought a Ford Transit van and spent a month renovating it. But just as we were driving to show it off, the engine exploded and we had to get the whole thing replaced. After a long time in the garage, we finally left Brisbane at the start of July and have made it to the Northern Territory. So follow along for some adventures, and knowing our luck, a whole lot of BS too.
Right, story time again. So we've been having a few issues with the van on and off for a while now. Engine light kept coming on, but we couldn't get it checked and figure out what the code was because it wouldn't stay on long enough. So essentially we were told it had to get worse for us to be able to fix it. Well, that time eventually came in Darwin. We learned it was something to do with the transmission, and honestly, getting booked into a mechanic in Darwin is really, really hard. We eventually got onto the transmission guy and he was nice enough to fit us in. Only in a couple of days, so that's awesome. But that meant we couldn't drive the van and we were stuck in the city of Darwin while the Darwin Cup was on. So the big horse races and the Darwin Festival had just started as well. So everything was entirely booked out. We managed to get a really last minute hotel with aircon, which was awesome as it was so warm. Thank goodness for roadside assist because it was very, very expensive to stay here for a few nights. So on top of all the engine issues, we also started to hear all this beeping from the electrical side of the van, and honestly, it's pretty overwhelming. We didn't know what to do there.
Lucky for us, we've met some awesome people. Tom and Joe, the guys from Banker who live just a couple of streets away from us at Moffat Beach. They just upgraded to lithium and had some AGMs they wanted to give to us. Dead set legends. We managed to get them fitted in with just a couple of sparks and a quick call with our auto electrician back in Ipswich.
Awesome, that was one fix. It was time to celebrate today and we headed out to the Darwin Cup with some friends, and it was a very, very hot but awesomely fun day. And we celebrated with some mango margaritas at the end of the day. The next morning we woke up and it was time to tow our van 45 minutes out of town to the transmission guy. So if you missed our last video, it was Ben's birthday last week and I snuck out in Darwin to buy him a hammock. He loves them, and we were discussing buying a tent or whatever to live in for the next few days as our home was now at the mechanics. Well, we thought, why not? Let's try some hammock camping. So they had a mozzie net in town, so we bought that, put it around the hammock, packed a tiny bag and jumped in the back of Nick and Tamara's ute, and away we went camping on the beach with some crocodiles for the next few days.
Hammock camping was tricky. It was super comfy for one, but for two people it was not a 5-star hotel. But sleeping on the beach and waking up for sunrise made it worth it. We stayed for a couple of nights until the food ran out. It was so lovely to feel like we were proper camping again, something we've really missed living in the van. Then the mechanic called us back. It was time to go pick up the van.
Great, the van was fixed. No, of course not. It was not. So basically the radiator still needed to be replaced, and no one could understand how this had happened because I don't really understand the ins and out of it. But there was a lot of arguing between our mechanic and my dad back in Ipswich and the mechanics here. We were hoping getting the radiator fixed was going to solve and prevent it from happening again. So we called the radiator guy in Darwin and got a tow over there. On the phone he was happy to see us. When we turned up, he wanted absolutely nothing to do with us. We were stranded again. We couldn't drive the van. We didn't want to risk accidentally stuffing up the transmission again, and we honestly had no idea what to do. The tow truck driver was the best. He called in so many favors in town for us, and after a few hours of him helping us, we eventually found someone who would see us. This great guy named Ashely, we'll link his business below, but oh, honestly, he was so nice, but he couldn't fit us in for another 2 weeks. We luckily found a caravan park that would fit us for 2 weeks, and it was only a 4-minute drive from the mechanic. So we got another tow over there, and yeah, that's where we were stranded for the next 2 weeks while we waited.
Very foamy. first reaction.
Better than the first day. I think my favourite thing about being in the caravan park, other than having unlimited showers and access to real toilets, is having an air-conditioned gym. Which means if I have some work to do that needs to be done early in the morning, I can get up and I can do it. I can have a coffee and then I can go do some exercise. I don't have to do yoga or Pilates at 6 o'clock in the morning just because of the heat. I can lay in bed for a while, enjoy my coffee, and then get up and do some exercise. Just after 9 o'clock and I've done work, we've cleaned up the van, Ben's on dishes duty, and yeah, just about to go head and do some yoga in the aircon. It's actually kind of fresh this morning, which is ironic, it's probably like 28 degrees. On top of an air-conditioned gym, we've got a lovely pool, and that's definitely the quietest I've ever seen it. It's very, very busy in the pool. The water's a bit lukewarm because it's so hot outside, but the aircon, that's where it's at. So I got summoned from my workout to breakfast!
Now it was time to fix the electrical system and do some chores.
Are you ready to see actually how much we fit in this van? Because it surprises me. Cracking a beer because chores need doing.
Yeah, exactly. Lunchtime. It's hot.
So I'll show you our overhead storage. It's actually pretty big in there. It goes all the way to the front of the cab. All that's in there is we just keep some emergency food. Down here.
So I've just been cleaning off the solar panel as it's very dusty from all our driving in the outback. So it's kind of much cleaner. Hopefully it will be working more efficiently.
Hopefully we get more solar now. Hopefully. How we get down off the roof without a ladder?
I don't know.
Turn around.
I'm on the wrong side of the car.
Yeah. Wrong foot. You good? Parkour. Oh, I was not expecting you to have a bucket. Ooh, look how filthy it was. How good is a freshly tidy van. Oh yeah. So clean.
Chores done, we headed into Darwin to check out all of the street art around the city.
Interactive map that you can find all the graffiti. Very, very cool. So we're here, I'm gonna go check out these. In Darwin, the Ben, what happened?
I got shit on.
Time morning already. Solar, getting some sun. Time for a swim. It got to 36 yesterday, so cooling off before I exhaust myself with a heat exhaustion again. Yesterday was hot, like 2 p.m. in the van, 36 degrees. It was doable, but fans were running on full, and we were just laying down with a cold smoothie. The quietest I've seen the pool. Nick and Tamara already in it. In between swimming and doing chores in the caravan park, we had group dinners and movie nights, and of course enjoyed exploring Darwin.
What do you think of it?
No trip to Darwin though would be complete without a sunset at the Moodle Beach markets, although they are very, very busy.
What'd you get?
$6. Are you taking a picture of my bolognese?
I am.
The Darwin Festival was on, so we also squeezed in some drinks and yummy food at the pop-up bars, and of course chilled by the city's riverfront. And they're reusable cups, so you pay a deposit of $3 and then you get $3 back when you take the cup back. How good is that? Cheers, Darwin.
They filmed this bit, the living life on the edge. This could go at any moment. Oh, not moving. No, we haven't. You'll be waiting for a while.
If you need to cool off, head to the casino's infinity pool for sunset. We went on a Thursday afternoon and had the entire pool to ourselves. Oh, and the best part, it's free.
Oh, it's on video. Okay, cheers! Sunset just keeps getting better.
Before we knew it, the 2 weeks were over and it was time to get the radiator replaced. It was finally fixed! We got Freddie back! And we're by the beach, going for a sunset drink. Yay! We celebrated with dinner and a banging sunset view. We weren't completely out of the clear though. We had to come back in a week to get the transmission flushed again, but that gave us time to explore Kakadu. Join us next week to see if we make it out. So sad.